Happy Saturday from here, Metro Manila, the Philippines, Southeastern Asia. Here follows a brief series of video lessons about the hominids, or the species who, according to the mainstream secular science, are related to us modern humans. The debate, of course, rages to some extent, especially in North America and particularly in the United States, along the evolution/creation axis. All the Bible-believing born-again Christians, of course, do believe that God created the world, God created all the species, but then there are differing interpretations of the creation events regarding the development of species. Did God create every single specific species type, or did he create the general types of species and then he directed their evolution? Of course, the fact is that only we representatives or individuals of the Homo sapiens species are morally and spiritually conscious beings, in the sense that we can have a personal, direct, and conscious relationship with God through his son Jesus Christ. So what I'm going to say in these videos, several videos, since a new in quotation marks, because the species, of course, is extinct already, hominid species was recently discovered on the island of Luzon, here in the Philippines, Luzon being the Philippines' main island regarding the number of people living there. Here in the Metro Manila region alone, there are over 10 million people. So what I'm going to say in these, or teach in these video lessons regarding the extinct hominids, is a summary of what the mainstream scientists, secular scientists, believe. Those who are born again and Bible believing have then more critical attitudes towards them. While they probably recognize the existence of these extinct species, they still believe that only the representatives of the Homo sapiens are humans in the full sense of the word. Fully morally conscious and spiritually conscious beings who can have a direct relationship with God through Jesus Christ, as I said. And then certain late hominids, such as the Homo luzonensis, the most recently discovered hominid species here in the Philippines, as I said, and Neanderthal men may actually have been subspecies or subgroups of us modern humans. But the debate is open. Those who favor the strict young earth creationism, according to which view God created the world in 6 days, as we count time, 6 days of 24 hours each, there naturally cannot have been any evolution. Then those who, like myself, believe that probably God took, according to our chronology, if we were able to compute the world's creation history, thousands of years to create the world. I justify that view by the fact that the creation week's 3 first days were God's days. They were God's time. God, for some reason or reasons, had not seen fit yet to create the sun, moon, and stars, those heavenly bodies through which we, with the help of which we have traditionally counted time. So they could easily have lasted for even many thousands of years, and then probably the pace of creation then quickened after God created sun, moon, and the stars. But these are my assumptions. I cannot lean on any scientific evidence directly on them or any biblical evidence, so don't take these views as the word of God. What I do believe is that God created everything including every species. Whether he then directed their subsequent evolution or not is a debatable question. Of course, no evolution of species has happened without God having allowed it. Anyway, the first one of these extinct hominids looked much like a monkey, Australopithecus, although the species was able to walk on two legs. Australopithecus was much smaller than we modern humans are. On average, its height was only somewhat above 4 feet in the imperial measurement, so something like 130 centimeters if we use the metric terms. And the Australopithecus walked in a notably stooped position, so it could not straighten its back as we normally can, especially if we are young and healthy. Okay, let's look at Australopithecus more closely now. Meaning southern ape or southern monkey. Apparently, according to the mainstream secular science, it evolved in Eastern Africa, and they used the estimate of 4 million years ago. So it would have eventually become extinct 2 million years ago, according to the mainstream science. In a preliminary micro-wear study completed or done in 1979 of Australopithecus fossil teeth, anthropologist Alan Walker theorized that robust Australopiths were largely frugivorous, in other words, ate mainly fruit, vegetables, small lizards, and tubers. Much research has focused on a comparison between the South African species Australopithecus africanus and Paranthropus robustus. Early analysis of dental microwear in these two species showed, compared to P. robustus, Australopithecus africanus had fewer microwear features and more scratches as opposed to pits on its molar wear facets. The type specimen for genus Australopithecus was discovered in South Africa in 1924 by workers of a lime quarry in Taung. The species was, or specimen was studied by the Australian anatomist Raymond Dart, who was then working at the University of Witwatersrand, or a ridge of white waters in Johannesburg. The fossil skull was from a 3-year-old bipedal primate that he named Australopithecus africanus. In February 1925, the journal or magazine Nature published the first report. Dart realized that the fossil contained a number of humanoid features, and so he came to the conclusion that this was an early ancestor of humans. Let's look at it more closely. Anyway, in January 2019, scientists reported that Australopithecus sediba is distinct from but shares anatomical similarities to both the older Australopithecus africanus and the younger Homo habilis. Yes, so most species of Australopithecus were diminutive and gracile, usually standing between 1.2 to 1.4 meters or 3 feet 11 inches to 4 feet 7 inches tall. In several variations, there was a considerable degree of sexual dimorphism, males being larger than females. And their brains were mostly only about 35%, so just over 1/3 of the size of a modern human brain.